My name is Sehloho. You may call me Sam. Everyone does. Let me first start by thanking Dr. Faye Nkosimama by creating this platform. And also, I would also like to say, man, it is a very sad story indeed. Story Sika Siyabonga and the young lady there. The only thing that I will say to them will be that Uthixo ukhona, the Almighty will be with you. So please, ndicela niwathathe amehlo enu niwase kuye. Ladies and gentlemen, I've already introduced myself as Sam. I am the deputy chairperson of Men Imbizo under Talitha Cumi Foundation. We are a group of men from different stakeholders, such as education, subs, and from different churches as well. Our aim is to mold young boys to be agents of change on the challenge that we are faced with of gender-based violence. As the saying goes, educate the youth, educate the nation. The incidents of gender-based violence are increasing. We will all remember our president when in one of his speeches he mentioned that we are faced with the second pandemic, which is gender-based violence. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me also to mention that as Men Imbizo, we are saddened by and condemn the alleged rape and brutal killing of a 17-year-old Amahle Kuko, a grade 11 learner at Sinetemba High School, which is a school in Philippi area, and that is in the Western Cape. We further condemn the murder of a 7-year-old Racine Kochi of Bella. She was in grade 1 learner at Bella Primary, also in the Western Cape. As Men Imbizo, we are in partnership with schools in the areas of Khayelitsha, Danune, and we are aiming to expand to other areas in order to address the gender-based violence pandemic in all spheres of the Western Cape. The program director mentioned that I should be coming strongly about saying or telling what is the state of gender-based violence in the whole country. But for now, we are still focused as the Men Imbizo here in the Western Cape with the aim of expanding to the entire country. Actually, our aim is to go globally. We should be known, you know, the Men Imbizo under Talitha Cumi. When we'll be expanding to all these areas in the Western Cape, we are doing that with actually the aim of having all the schools on board. And fortunately for us as Men Imbizo, many of men there coming from schools, they are school principals. So now it becomes easy to have teachers on board, you know, also to engage the school governing bodies. Already, as it is now, the principals have started to create platforms during assembly whereby learners will be actually be addressed on the gender-based violence. We are also, our program also encourages the teachers to come up with debates, you know, so that learners can also talk about gender-based violence, the impact, you know, in their own lives. What is that happening there? And also, ladies and gentlemen, I must also mention that we have some small wins, you know, but now also the challenge that actually we are faced with is this pandemic that actually interfered with our program. As it is now, there is not much that we are doing because our program needs us to be physically to be there, and some of the areas that we are operating with, you know, there's a lack of resources so that we can have platforms like this as we are doing now, as created by Dr. Faye. But take it from me that I promise you that immediately when this pandemic is over, we'll be able to list to you some of our small wins, pertaining the aim of our project as Men in Viso. Ladies and gentlemen, we were told that we need not also to go that side of the time, but I will say that as Men in Viso, we've also noticed that the gender-based violence is not only coming only from the side of these young boys, So on that note, we then said we need also to rate in young girls as well. They need also to become agents of change. They need also to be informed as what to do. Because if we're listening to Usiyabonga and the young lady who are the victims of the gender-based violence, it came out strongly in their presentation that at some stage they did not know what to do. They did not know where to go. They did not, actually, as Men in Viso, when we are busy with gender-based violence in schools, we also coming up with information that we're giving to these young boys and girls as the places that they can go to when they need help around the issue of gender-based violence. Ladies and gentlemen, as Men in Viso, the fact that we've managed, to secure the partnership with schools, actually, on my capacity as a deputy chairperson, I'm very much happy about it because that's where you'll get young boys and girls. And the worst part of it, one would think that this only affects the high school learners. But when you look from the statements, recent statements as issued by the Minister of Education in the Western Cape, Mr. Deputy Shefa, it came clearly there that this does not only affect learners in the high schools, it also affects the learners in the primary school. When I started with my presentation, I also mentioned about a grade 1 learner, from Bella Primary. You can just imagine a young girl, a 7-year-old. This is very, very, very sad, and it's a very serious concern, the issue of gender-based violence, ladies and gentlemen, that we need all of us as a nation to stand up and say no to gender-based violence. Lastly, as Men in Viso, we are actually using a curriculum as a tool. We like the way our curriculum is also designed because it accommodates, us to teach our children about gender-based violence. If I might quote a subject or learning areas like life orientation in the high schools and also life skills in the primary school, there are chapters that speaks to gender-based violence there. So hence I was saying that in the form of a debate, teachers are doing it in our schools, and also we have encouraged teachers that because it became now the thorny issue in the country, the issue of gender-based violence, they should be coming strongly as well, using the curriculum as a tool, because it allows them, it is already incorporated there. It's for them to deliver it to the learners. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, thanks to Dr. Faye for creating this platform so that we can talk about this pandemic, which is gender-based violence. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.